Welcome back. Jagersfontein residents have taken their frustrations to the streets. It has been a month since a dam wall collapsed, killing 2 people and leaving 1 person missing. They say they handed over a memorandum in 2018 raising some safety concerns. They want the mine to be closed down. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu is in the area and joins me for an update. Manqoba, tell us about today's protest and the calls for this mine to be shut down.
Well, certainly, Anli, that was the call by community members who took their frustrations to the doorstep of the mine. They are calling for the mine to be shut, saying that this mine is not benefiting the community. But on top of that is also the issue of safety. They say that they've been raising the issues around safety before even that wall dam collapsed last month, saying that there have been several protests in this community. The latest one that they held was in November 2018, where they articulated some of their frustrations as far as this is concerned. And we know, Andy, that hours before this happened, some miners also telling eNCA that they had warned those that were on shift, the supervisors that were on shift, that the walls seemed to have been cracking and that there was likely going to be this disaster taking place. So those community members saying, Andy, since that incident had occurred last month, and of course the second one that also occurred in this community, they've been receiving no updates as far as investigations are concerned, and they want answers as to what is happening. But there's also an allegation that there are mining operations that are continuing at Jagersfontein Development Properties. Some of the community members saying that these operations are taking place during the night, and this is what they say should not be happening because investigations are still ongoing at this particular stage. You recall that there were investigations that were launched by the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, as well as the Department of Water and Sanitation, in terms of the quality of or what was found inside that sludge, and what led ultimately to the collapse of that wall. So the community members saying that up until those investigations are concluded, they want all operations to be halted at the mine. Of course, the mine at this point has been calling on some of the workers to return to their jobs, and they are saying that this should not be the case because those investigations are continuing. So community members calling for that mine to be shut down for now. Take a listen to what one of the community leaders had to say.
Our demands is that the mine must be shut down with immediate effect. You remember it's now a month that the mine bosses or whatsoever, they didn't come to the community to ask for forgiveness and whatsoever. The second thing is that Itumeleng Trust must also be abolished because Itumeleng Trust is controlling by someone whose name is Sipopu and who stay in Cape Town. And it doesn't benefit anything to the community of Jagersfontein.
Manqoba, has the mine responded to any of these demands?
Indeed, Andy, the mine officials were there to accept that memorandum. Of course, there were quite a number of demands that were made by community members, some of them for calling for the mine to take action against some of its own employees, including the compliance officer who we spoke to last month as eNCA, who had given assurances as far as the quality checks were concerned, saying that there were tests that were done. And they're saying that they want that mine compliance officer to be given the boot by the mine and to be investigated for flouting some of the regulations. And of course the mine at this particular point, Andy, saying that they cannot give a comprehensive response to some of those demands. There were quite a number of them, and what they were saying to these workers is that they are going to look at some of those demands. They're going to engage some of those demands and perhaps give a response to those community leaders in the time that they've given the mine to respond. We know that they've given the mine about a week to get back to the community, and also the community emphasizing that it doesn't really have to be 7 days for the mine to come back to the community. They can set up meetings in the meantime to try and perhaps give an explanation, to apologize for what happened in this incident, and also importantly to take accountability and responsibility for what has happened. But also they've raised the issue that they don't want those workers who are not going to work currently to be penalized for not going to work. But the mine saying that they cannot commit to that at this particular point. This is an issue that still needs to be engaged by their legal representatives. So they're saying only that they will get back to this community in a week's time. But take a listen to what the supervisor of the mine, Johan Kombrink, had to say.
Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to make any comments. I've just received the memorandum now, and I will hand it to our relevant people. I mean, we've got 7 days to answer all the comments and all the demands. So we hear you, and we will respond, and we will come back to you as community.
Manqoba, shocking that there has been at this stage from the community side the feeling that they have not been engaged on this, that they have been left without answers, that they cannot see what progress is being made in terms of the investigation. Did the mine respond to that to say why they have not engaged with community members before this?
Well, Andy, as you heard that answer, that was just the short answer that the mine was prepared to give to residents. Of course, they say at this point they cannot delve deeper, they cannot give more details about those investigations. We know, of course, Andy, that the mine also is conducting its own internal investigation as far as that is concerned. They have, however, indicated, Andy, that as far as the water is concerned, or the sludge that was deposited, they say that that sludge has no apparent danger as far as some of the chemicals or anything that is contained in that sludge. But they are saying that we need to allow those investigations to continue. In fact, that was what the compliance officer had said the last time we spoke to him. But certainly we do know that the investigations are ongoing also on the side of government. But I think what these community members are frustrated about is the fact that even from the side of government, there doesn't seem to be any responses, there doesn't seem to be any updates as far as the investigations are concerned. No one has been held accountable, even though the mine has indicated that they will take full responsibility. So this is a community that is still left in the dark as far as trying to find the answers as to really what happened here. We spoke to some community members who are saying that up until now they're still destitute, they have nowhere to go. There are still people that are still unaccounted for, that are still being being looked for by some of those community members. So this is a community a month later, Andy, that is still nowhere to finding closure, that is still nowhere to finding some sense of normalcy.
Well, thank you very much, eNCA reporter Manqoba Mchunu.